A French Journey 2017. It's a journey by car from St Anne's in Lancashire to the Cher region of central France. There's the motor car all packed up and we're all ready to go. We're off to a place called Germigny. I'm not sure if I pronounced that properly, but it's a place in the Cher region of central France, a very rural area, very lovely and relaxing, and you'll see some pictures of it towards the end of this video when we finally get there. We do make a little diversion to the Champagne region. Anyway, here we are at the moment, leaving St Anne's, going eastbound on the M55. Liz doing a great job taking over the first leg of the journey. Yeah, here we are on the M6 now going southbound, and this is the roadworks section. What they're doing in the roadworks is making what's called a smart motorway, so-called smart motorway. It's an area with no hard shoulders, so supposedly there's an extra lane to shift all that congestion in the rush hour. What happens when you break down though? Well, that is a problem. No hard shoulder, you're going to break down in a live lane unless you can get to the ERA Bay, the emergency refuge area. I think ERA stands for. Anyway, we're out of the roadworks now going south, and looks like we've found a traffic jam. Of course, the M6 is a very, very busy motorway. First constructed in 1958, and the first part that was made was the Preston bypass. This of course is much further south, and there's a rather more sedate mode of transport that we're going past. We've elected on this journey to go on the M6 toll road. I've got to say I feel a bit mean about paying £5.90 to go on the toll. After all, we do pay our road tax, and I think it's a little bit tight for the government to ask us to pay that. Anyway, the good thing about the M6 toll road is it's pretty much congestion free, because of course the local people who are travelling are not going to pay £5.90 every single day, especially if you've got to go both ways in the rush hour. So it's always a nice road to go down, relatively congestion free. I've certainly never found any problems there. Just a nice amount of traffic going down there. Anyway, in this section we're leaving the M6 toll and merging onto the M1. Looks like the weather's getting a little bit nasty and it's time for a driver change. So this is me moving over to the cab to take us a bit further south, stuck in the bad weather and the traffic. Going back to the M6 toll road is 27 miles of congestion free traffic according to my notes. Is it worth it for £5.90? I suppose it is on the one-off journeys that we make. Anyway, travelling to Folkestone, we go via the M55, M6 toll, M1, M25 and the M20. And here we finally are boarding the shuttle at Folkestone. It's strange really to go on the shuttle, because I always thought that the Eurotunnel actually was a tunnel that you could drive down until a few years back, but what you have to do is drive onto this rather special train. Park up, handbrake on, first gear, windows open, and it's a very, very smooth journey under the water, I should say, to France. In fact, it's so smooth you can hardly tell when the train starts and when it stops. Anyway, bye for now, and here we are 35 minutes later in Calais. Channel Tunnel, as you may know, was opened in 1994 and took 5 years to complete. It's 23.5 miles long, and the journey time on the train takes about 35 minutes. And it's a nice little relaxing time. You can obviously you have to park up, switch your engine off, and take a look at your iPad for a while, play a few games until you get to the other side. Luckily, when we're arriving, as you can see, we've got sunshine and clear skies. The only problem here is that we ran into a bouchon, French traffic jam, which you don't seem to see a lot of. There are traffic jams, of course, in the built-up areas like Calais, for instance, but once you get out into the country, it's a wonderful way of travelling. Anyway, there's our hotel for the night, and here we are on the next day, travelling once again. You can see the amount of traffic on these French motorways is nothing like you get on the UK roads. It's actually a joy to drive once again in France. And here we are at our first toll booth, picking up the ticket. Pick up your ticket, get going and pay when you leave the autoroute. Going off again, and as you can see, a reasonable amount of traffic, but nothing really heavy. One of the great things about French autoroutes is the services. The French airs, as they call them, are very lovely indeed. Here we are exiting the autoroute, coming down to the péage, where you have to get your money out and cough up for that journey that you've just taken. I used to think there was no French road tax, but there is actually. I think if you've got a private car, it's completely free, but if you've got an HGV or a camper van or some kind of vehicle that you make a living out of, you do have to pay your road tax. Here we are at some French roadworks, and unfortunately I think the camera ran out a little bit further on, where we came to some temporary traffic lights. And the interesting thing about temporary traffic lights in France, they had a countdown timer on them, so when you pull up you know exactly how long you've got there, 60 seconds, 30 seconds or whatever. Anyway, here we are at the French Air. As you can see, it's nothing like UK services. Traffic is pretty light. It's a delightful place, it's got toilets, very rural, some lovely picnic tables where you can eat your lunch. Anyway, this is where we stayed for the night in the Champagne region. There's a lovely stopover, former hunting lodge that's been converted into a chambre d'hôte. Again, I hope I've pronounced that right. Time to leave anyway this morning. We've got some places to go, and one of our first stops is going to be a vide-grenier, a loft sale, or a car boot sale to you. A lot of these events are actually more than a car boot sale. They're more of an antique sale, a bit more of a brocante than a vide-grenier. This one is particularly well attended. Got some lovely objects there. Not sure if we bought anything at that particular one. Liz looked quite interested in stuff. Anyway, time to get a move on again. Getting over to the right. Of course, we're in France. We need to remember all the time to drive on the right. And you can see that vide-grenier was pretty popular. Oceans of vehicles there parked up outside the venue. We're off on the road, heading down further south towards the Cher region, and we're actually stopping by the canal to take a look round. It's a beautiful canal, the Canal du Guetin. I think I pronounced that right. And there's a huge lock there, and there was quite a queue of boats getting through the lock, and it was quite a steep climb for those boats. I actually think that's going to be one of my desires for a future French holiday, travelling down a French canal in a barge. Anyway, here we are in Germigny. It's a very small hamlet. That's the only shop on the right hand side there, shop cum bar. If we do a left here, it should bring us up to our little gîte. I say little gîte, it's actually quite a huge place. It looks like a few houses have been knocked into one, although one end of the gîte, which is the first part you're going to see, contains all the machinery for the pool. It is a heated pool, and the pool actually is just behind that building on the right there. Just over to the right there's a kind of a storage area for bikes and stuff, and this bit at the end is the living accommodation. Very lovely it is too. That's about it from me. If you get a few spare minutes, why not try my website at stevehigginslive.com, where you can find more videos and a weekly blog post. Thanks for watching. Bye now.